So I'm a man who loves risk. So I've made my riskiest tier list video yet. Perhaps this could be. So if you've read the title, this is UFC or MMA fighters as historical assassins. This will go over quite well, I imagine. But anyway, let's get into it. We have John Wilkes Booth. He took out Abraham Lincoln. We have maybe an unexpected one. I don't know if many people would know about this man, but Yagal Amir. He was an Israeli extremist who took out the Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, who was pretty much about to broker peace in the entire Middle East until this fucking guy came along. And then we have Lee Harvey Oswald / Patsy. This is like the Patsy tier list. If you don't know what a patsy is, it's like someone who pretty much gets the whole brunt of the blame for something when maybe that's not the entire case. And then we have Thomas Matthew Crooks, who was the Trump shooter last year who missed. And Lee Tardy Oswald, if you will. So we got John Wilkes Booth, Yigal Amir, Lee Harvey Oswald, and we got Lee Tardy Oswald as well at the bottom here. So anyway, let's move on. And let's get to the list. First person we're going to put on here, we're going to put Edmund Tarverdyan. He's going on here for head movement. All right, he's going on here first. Main reason, he's got no head movement. He'd be a bad shot. He'd miss. He'd fail. We're putting Edmund Tarverdyan. He's going first. He's going on the Thomas Matthew Crooks tier. Then we've got Merab Dvalishvili. I'm gonna put Merab Dvalishvili. He's going in the Patsy. He's going the Lee Harvey Oswald. I feel like Merab would 100% be the guy who'd be climbing like a building top, and then he'd get framed for like an assassination. I don't know. It's just something I could picture Merab doing. He'd be climbing like 80. Oh, what's the word I'm looking? How do they define how tall a building is? Not 80 foot. We'll say, I don't know, he'd be climbing the Empire State Building or something like that. Let's just put that in there. He'd be climbing the Empire State Building or something like that, and then miraculously there'd be a shooting at the same time, and Merab would get the blame of it. Let's just say that 100%. Merab is the type of guy who'd be used as a patsy. He'd be like, no, brother, no, it wasn't me. What are you talking about? It wasn't me. He'd be saying that. I can picture it 100%. Merab's going Lee Harvey Oswald category. Then moving on up, we've got Tony Ferguson. 100%. He's going in the Lee Harvey Oswald category. He has to. If I've ever seen a patsy in my life, it's Tony Ferguson. He would 100% get framed for a heinous crime like this. So I'd put Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson would be running around and they'd be interrogating him you're not going to get an answer from me. Life's a rat race. What's your favorite Ninja Turtle? Mine's Michelangelo. What's yours? I also like Legos. He'd be saying shit like that and be like, this guy's fucking insane. They would probably he wouldn't be fit to stand trial, but they would just assume it was him, He would be 100% a perfect patsy. Then moving on up, we've got the first John Wilkes Booth. I'm going with Quillen Salkeld here. Literally the only reason he's going on here is the moustache. All right? Quillen Salkeld, if you see this video, I don't think you're capable of committing any heinous crimes like this. Maybe you are. Maybe I'm wrong. But literally just the moustache. You've got the John Wilkes Booth moustache. You've got to go in here. Then moving on up, we've got the first Yagil Al-Amir person on this list, which is going to be Gene Silver. Come on, we all know Gene Silver. He's a big fan of the IDF. He's not the type of guy who wants peace. He flipped off a Palestine flag. He's he's not even from fucking Israel and he's an extremist. So we're going to put Gene Silver in the Amir category. He'd probably do it and then he would cry. And, they would find the tears, the DNA test that he's caught. That's how Gene Silver gets caught. But yes, he's going in the Yagil Al-Mir category. Then moving on up, we've got Drew Dober. I'm putting Drew Dober, and this comes with I'm putting Drew Dober in the John Wilkes Booth, but only if we go back in time and Obama's the president. I feel like that's the only way Drew Dober gets it done. If not, he goes in the Thomas Matthew Crooks. So this is circumstantial. It really just depends on the melanin of the president, to be honest, or whoever he's taken out. Because I feel like Drew Dober, I feel like the Drew Dober meme only works for his assassinations, as well. I feel like fighting and political like violence, it goes both ways. I very much worry this is not going to get monetized. Then moving on up, we've got Derek Lewis. Dude, Derek Lewis, 100%, he's going in the patsy category. I don't think he would commit anything like that, but I feel like they would just blame him. But like, he's like, I just see this on the news, man. I wasn't here. Like he would get arrested. 100% Derek Lewis, Lee Harvey Oswald, patsy. I don't think D. Lewis would care about politics that much, but he would 100% be taking a shit, and like the guy who had like committed the crime, he'd be jumping through the window of like the bathroom, and like D. Lewis would still be in there about to take a shit, and they would arrest him 100%. Then moving on up, we've got legendary Polish assassin. We've got Jan Blachowicz. I'm gonna put him in the Lee Harvey Oswald. I feel like they would arrest him. He wouldn't do it, but they'd be like legendary. He'd play into it a little bit. Maybe he'd be one of those patsies where maybe he's involved, but he doesn't snitch out the other guys. Maybe he's not even the main perpetrator. But he would be paid to like take the blame and go, legendary Polish shooter, legendary Polish sniper, legendary Polish hitman, legendary Polish assassin. I could keep going on with this, but I'm not going to. But yeah, I feel like that's a good category. Then we got Dustin Poirier. He's going in the Thomas Matthew Crooks category. You just can't hit the big ones. Dustin Poirier never got the championship, and I don't think he'd be able to make the shot either. When the brights get too light, when it's for a belt, when it's for making history, Dustin Poirier unfortunately falls short. So he's going in the Thomas Matthew. He's going in the Lee Tardy Oswald category. Then moving on up, we've got Pat Barry. Sorry, Dean Barry. Got you on the mind all the time. The GOAT got a win last weekend. I can't forget about Dean Barry. But Pat Barry, he goes in the Thomas Matthew Crooks. He would just fail. He 100% would fail. He would somehow get chinned. Like he'd like go to take the shot. It'd be like it'd spin backwards or something. He'd fall over. He'd hit his chin. He'd get knocked out. Get arrested. Then we've got Beneil Dariush. He 100% goes in the Lee Harvey Oswald category. I feel like they would just put him in there for like he's very religious. They'd be like, that's the guy. He'd be praying or something. He wouldn't want anyone to interrupt his prayer. Like, that's the guy. That was the guy who did it. And he wouldn't have done it. So yeah, Beneil Dariush, he would be a patsy, 100%. Then moving on up, we've got Paul Felder. I literally just put him in here. He was an actor. John Wilkes Booth was an actor. He's also got the moustache. Paul Felder, 100% John Wilkes Booth. If he was an MMA assassin or just an assassin in general, 100% he's John Wilkes Booth. He would get the job done. Then moving on up, we've got Natan Levy. Natan Levy is going in the Yigal Amir category. This is the same guy who said, nothing bad's going on in Israel and Palestine. A Palestinian guy had a $500 bike. This is something Natan Levy really said. That's very weird reasoning. That Palestinian guy, he had a bike. Nothing horrible's going on there. So 100% he's going in the Yigal Amir category. Feel like he's not a guy who wants peace. Then moving on up, we've got Tai Tuivasa. I mean, how can you not have Tai Tuivasa in the Lee Harvey Oswald? He'd 100% be a patsy. He'd be drinking. He'd be drunk. And they would just pin it on him. I feel like the actual assassin would literally walk right past him. The FBI or whatever would be chasing him, but they'd literally just arrest Tai Tuivasa because he'd be drunk. He'd be going, hey, get in the way. Like, hey, this guy's a part of it, He'd have no relation to it whatsoever, but they would just arrest him. Let's be real. Then we've got Dracus Duplessis. I would put him in the John Wilkes Booth category. I feel like he would get it done. I don't know. I feel like, especially with people in this category, I feel like it's just the aggressive types of people, right? And I feel like you just go balls to the wall. You just go straight to the guy and you shoot him. I'm also realizing I did not put Sean Strickland in here. Literally, he's in the thumbnail. But Sean Strickland would go in the John Wilkes Booth category. I'm just going to put him in there right now. There's Sean Strickland. I'm tapping the screen if you guys can't tell. He would be in there. John Wilkes Booth. Just balls to the wall. Go straight to it. These are I don't know. Lee Harvey Oswald, even if it's a patsy, I feel like you'd at least expect, some smart maneuvering around. I feel like Drickus and Sean Strickland are guys who just go balls to the wall, just go straight for it. Then moving on up, we've got Dan Egate. He's got a mustache. He's got a mustache. He's in the John Wilkes Booth category. Like, at this point in time, I feel like if you're gonna be like a historical assassin, you either need a mustache or you need like a really like nice free name. You know, like you need the first name, the middle name, the last name combo, or try combo to get this. And you know, Dan Egate's got the mustache. He fits that category. Let's put him in there, I reckon. Then we've got Donald Cerrone. I've got to put Donald Cerrone in the John Wilkes Booth. He's an actor. Remember when he retired, he said, "You know, Grandma, I'm gonna be a movie star." You know, well, baby movie star. Being a movie star doesn't work out. Plus, in the historical context of everything, like I feel like Cerrone would probably defend the Confederates. So he's going in the John Wilkes Booth category 100%. Then we've got Conor McGregor. I'm putting Conor McGregor in the... I would put him in the... Honestly, I'd put him in the Thomas Matthew Crooks category, to be honest. I feel like Conor McGregor would be like too fucking whacked out of his brain, too drunk. I feel like he would shoot shots and then he would get fucking immediately arrested or taken out. I just feel like that would suit current Conor McGregor. Now, people forget my prime motivated McGregor, you know. When I fucking shoot the president, they don't fucking move. Yeah, when you shoot the president, you know, like this would be what he'd say to John Hickley. When you shoot the president, when you shoot the fucking president, he gets out of hospital. When I shoot the president, he don't fucking move. Yeah, that would be Conor McGregor. Prime motivated Conor McGregor, but this is not prime motivated Conor McGregor, so he would go in the Thomas Matthew Crooks category. Then moving on up, we've got Manny Moicano. I would put Manny Moicano. Moicano want money. Moicano want money. He goes in the patsy category. He'd take a payday. He'd take the payday, you know. I tried to shoot the president. You know. Moicano want money. They sent $1 million for me, my brother. I had to take it. I had to take the shot, my brother. So yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald, 100%. That makes sense for Renato Moicano. Then we have Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, I just feel like he would be the perfect like John Wilkes Booth. I feel like he would just have enough. Like I feel like Michael Chandler is the type of guy has a really bad day. He's like a couple bad days away from having a massive mental breakdown. Everybody hates him. You know, he's got no friends. Everyone in MMA hates the guy. I feel like he's just one bad. And I feel like he would be very underwhelming because he would like unassuming. Like they would be like, yeah, he's a normal guy. He'd get up to the president just. You know, I feel like that would be Michael Chandler. He'd be the John Wilkes Booth approach 100%. We are not glorifying any of this stuff. These are all bad things, by the way, people. Then we have Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker, I feel like Robert Whittaker has a bad day. He's going in the John Wilkes Booth category. I think he's a very nice guy. I don't think anything like this would happen, but I don't know. One bad day, Robert Whittaker snaps. We never know. Then we've got Terrence Finney. He's 100%. If I've ever seen a patsy in my life, it's Terrence Finney. Terrence Finney, 100%. They would arrest him. Be like, you don't know what the Terrence is cooking. You know, he'd try and do like The Rock, like a pro wrestling promo. Like, yeah, you're under arrest, bud. He'd be like, wait, what? You're being serious? Then moving on up, got Jack Jenkins. He's got the mustache. He's going in the fucking John Wilkes Booth category. I'm sorry, guys. Everybody with the mustache, you go in it. I'm sorry. You got the mustache. You're a John Wilkes Booth. Then we have Khalil Roundtree. Khalil Roundtree, 100% would be a patsy. 100%. He would honestly get Jack Ruby'd, I feel like he would be about to like spill the beans about the whole operation and he'd immediately get taken out. Like, I feel like they wouldn't even let him get to the police station because he'd be crying by the time he's in cuffs. They wouldn't get a written statement or anything like that. And then we've got Yuri Prohaska. Yuri Prohaska, he 100% goes on the John Wilkes Booth category. He would just go balls to the wall. Let's be real. He'd just be like, yep. You know, just go out there. I did what I had to do. I did what I had to do. You know, he would have a motive for it, and he would just 100% go balls to the wall. Just nice, close, and personal. No sniping bullshit. No patsy bullshit. No missing, and no extremism to the extent of your gal. So anyway, that's my video on MMA fighters, political assassins. Yeah, I don't know if this gets monetized or not, so please donate. Please donate it. Super chat this, because I have a feeling this is not going to get monetized. Hopefully it does. But anyway, shout out to the Mixed Martial Artist, single member of the channel. Become a member today. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Unique idea, only person. I'm the only person doing the corn star video, and I'm doing this tier. You know, I'm coming out with this. I literally thought of this last night. Last night, I'm thinking in my bed. I'm like, I'm gonna make this fucking video. But anyway, we condemn political violence 100% on this channel. We are not in support of it. This is not glorifying anything. This is all historical. We do not want any future events to come of this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.